Hello, I'm Douglas Anderson, CEO of Wall Street Capital Partners and Chairman of Metaterra Holdings, Inc. Today I'm very pleased and happy to announce that we are bringing on our advisory board a senior global expert in the corporate finance and business world, Russ Gerson. Russ has had his own firm for many years in New York, and he's placed some of the biggest titans of business and corporate finance around the world, and really has an excellent sense of which companies are taking off and which ones to go with, and he's decided to go with us, and I'd love to hear his take on his impression of our fantastic growth company and why he decided to join us. Russ, welcome.
Thank you, Doug. Yeah, I am extremely enthusiastic, excited about joining the advisory board of Metaterra. As Doug said, I have about a 40-year career in and around the financial services community, in banking and investment banking, and I ran a corporate development recruiting business for 30 plus years. And as Doug said, I've seen just about everything. I've been involved with some of the largest investment banks, some of the largest private equity firms, some of the largest hedge funds. I've advised and worked with many of them. And for the last 5 years, I've been very active in the fintech arena. And when Doug approached me about Metaterra, I have to say that I was very impressed about where they are, what they're about to do. I think they're going to be one of the leading firms in the fintech area. And again, I am very, very excited to be part of this. I also am excited to be able to work with a colleague of ours who's also going to be joining the advisory board and going to be part of the Metaterra organization, a gentleman by the name of Steve Norris. Steve had a long and distinguished career at Marriott Corporation and came up with the idea of having a private equity firm in Washington, D.C. called the Carlyle Group. And he came up with the organization's plan, hired a gentleman by the name of David Rubenstein, and built and helped to create one of the largest private equity firms in the world. And again, as Doug said, I've been exposed to lots of financiers, lots of CEOs, and Steve Norris is probably one of the brightest, most creative professionals. And the fact that Steve has also agreed to join in an important position is very testament to what Metaterra is doing and what they're about to do.
Russ, tell me, what's your sense as to why Steve accepted my invitation to join as an advisor with this company? I mean, he gets offers all the time and says no, but he said yes to me. Why?
So, Steve Norris is, again, as I mentioned earlier, one of, I think, the most creative financiers in the modern times. When I talked to David Rubenstein about Steve 12 or 13 years ago when we were starting to work together, I asked David, how the Carlyle Group started, and David said to me, the reason Carlyle exists is because of Steve Norris's creativity and financial prowess. And Steve was early on actually sold Amazon their first book list. Steve early on was involved in bringing Apple one of their biggest investors, a foreign investor. Steve was involved early on in getting a major investment, foreign investment in Citi. Those investments, if those individuals and firms that were invested, taking even Amazon aside, would be worth in excess of $1 trillion. And the fact that Steve looks at Metaterra and what Metaterra is doing as something, and he said to me earlier today, this could be as big as any of those organizations at some point.
I see the same thing. Yeah.
Great.
So I mentioned some of the top executives that you've been involved with placing and working with. Why don't you describe some of those people?
Yeah, so I got early on, when I was in my late 20s, I got involved with Blackstone Group, and I helped them hire some of their most senior executives and actually help them strategically get into the private equity business. I was involved with a gentleman by the name of David Solomon when he was working at Bear Stearns as head of corporate finance, and advised him when he went to Goldman Sachs, and he's now the CEO of Goldman Sachs. I worked with Ray Dalio at Bridgewater Associates and helped Kenny Moelis create Moelis & Company, hired I think something like 60 some of their executives and introduced them to a number of their capital sources. That's just a variety of organizations, but most recently have been heavily involved in the fintech arena. And again, having looked at this industry, having met some of the senior leaders, Metaterra is extremely well positioned for very significant growth and playing an important role in the financial ecosystem.
So having touched the largest, one of the largest hedge funds in the world, and then having touched one of the largest banks in the world, I think you've got a pretty good handle on and feel for that sector. And you see this as a breakout revolutionary change in corporate finance, the fintech world leader.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the fintech ecosystem, or more importantly, the broader financial ecosystem, what Metaterra is about to do is, I think, going to be just as important as when we started using point of sales to take credit card payments 30 some odd years ago. I think what they're about to do is transformative, and they will be a market leader using crypto and a new way of doing credit scoring that will, I think, dramatically change the way payments are made. And they are far and ahead of anybody else in the industry.
Cutting edge on something, again, there's evolution and then there's revolution. This is revolutionary. It's going to take the world by storm. And I think we're looking at a unicorn. We're looking at something that's going to lead the world in this. I think we're looking at $1 billion plus company for sure.
I think you're underestimating the opportunity and the potential here. If they execute the way that I believe that they will execute, this is going to be a company that will be valued in the tens of billions of dollars in the next 2 to 3 years.
We always have to be conservative as bankers on Wall Street, but I agree with you. And I think that this is really one of the most exciting deals I've seen in a long, long time. We've all been around long enough to see a lot of these big companies, and this is as big as they get. And I'm extremely excited about it. And I'm very happy to have you on board.
Great to be here.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
Metaterra, shaping the future of finance.